Home means so many different things. I think the first definition of home is built community or found family, maybe. When I talk about home back in India, it's my blood family, of course. The fact that I found home here as well, it just means that these interactions with people, it just makes me and a lot of other people feel loved. And that feeling of love and connection is what makes home, I think, that more than any location or like building.
Honestly, I just think Montreal is one of the best student cities. And it's really, really diverse. I do think a lot of student cities, it's kind of people from the same places, but Montreal, there is everybody. Everybody is here.
When I think of home, I first of all see my family, I see my friends, I see the food, the energy, I see the community. Like there's so many things that come through my head, especially the food.
Occasionally they have like a Lebanese dish or like a Middle Eastern dish that I kind of feel like it's nice to have that little like taste of home. Of course, it's not like perfected to my grandma's level. Obviously, that's not gonna happen, but it's still nice to get that sense of like, I'm eating something and it feels familiar to me, and I kind of get like memories of how I ate it back home just by like eating. I'm like, oh, this kind of reminds me of this like memory, this nice memory that happened back home.
Sometimes they have these guest chefs that come and cook for us. I've learned about so many different cultures like that. For example, there was the Black History Month, and they had a guest chef, and I think that was probably one of the best meals I've ever had.
Every month we have specific events happening. Every semester we have community events, which are like bigger events, focused on going outside, going to museum, baking, cooking. So like events that are not just focused about interaction, but also about teamwork and learning new skills.
I mean, home is where the heart is, right? So it really comes down to, you know, the friends that you make and the connections that you make with people. So although it does take time, it happens, I promise.
I do feel it's like taking the first step is the hardest part. I was very nervous the first time that I was in events and stuff, but it's just taking that leap, you know, and that like, okay, I would just say hi and see how it goes.
I came here as an introverted person, right? Like I didn't really have a big group of friends back home. Just being in residence really changed my personality and made me way more like extroverted and outgoing and social. I later applied as an RA just so that I can sort of create the community feeling that my RAs created for me.
It's a good transition in between being at home with your parents and actually moving away. You are growing up, but there's somebody still taking care of you, kind of. The friends we made in Grainlands, that's, yeah, I mean, look at us. We're still very good friends, even though we don't live in the same residence.
And we met on the first day at Grainlands.
Yeah, she's the first person that I met in Grainlands for sure.
I just love that we're just like all together, because it's kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity. After residence, you're kind of just like finding a full-time job, you're maybe either living with parents or kind of finding your own place, and this is kind of like the one time in life where you kind of just like all be together and kind of like all eat together, do things together, and I've really enjoyed it. It's passed by so quick.
You realize how the residence life has made you more interconnected with others because you see each other often.
It's the stories, it's the funny moments, sometimes it's the tough moments, but it's it all comes together to some great memories and a place where I'll look back on fondly.
I would just say, okay, I know it's your first time here, I know you might feel nervous, but just try to allow yourself, have some room in your heart for some change. Like just keep your heart open, because then you'll experience so many kinds of joys, so much happiness that you can never imagine. It's just a beautiful thing.